an open relationship and then it won't be that bad. And because you're comfortable, or maybe it's a financially stable situation or whatever it may be, you say, okay, but really in your heart of hearts, you're not okay with that. And eventually it's going to lead to bigger issues.
Right.
If one of the parties isn't 100% comfortable with that.
Right. Well, I being the only married one, I'll tell you that first of all, you had said you'd been together. You said, Jason, you've been together for 2 years with your last guy, right? Christian, how about you? How long were you together?
4 years.
Okay. So I want to say something, just as somebody who's been with someone for almost 10 years now, that 2 years is one thing, 4 years is another, and 10 years is another. And so what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to belittle your relationships, because I've had 2 year relationships. I've had 3 years. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that 2 years, you're still in the honeymoon phase. You're like, oh, I love you. Let's have sex. Let's fuck, whatever. And then, so it's easier those first 2-3 years. As things move on, it doesn't mean you're going to cheat on them or anything. I'm just saying that the dynamics of your relationship aren't just about the hot sex, passion, and those sorts of things. It changes. And so that's why I think a lot of gay people, or who have couples who do that, who are not monogamous, I think that's why they end up doing it. It's not just gays, it's also heterosexuals too. And they choose to do that. And I personally am not am not into sharing my husband with anybody. But I am very monogamous. But I don't have any judgment on people who do.
Right, surely not.
I think if it works for the two of you, if you lay out the rules, if you say this is what we want to have an open relationship, this is what we can't do, whatever. If it works for you, fine. I mean, I'm not to judge someone else's relationship, but that's for them to decide.
Right.
Yeah, I had a situation years ago where I was dating a guy, and we were, we had been dating for a few months, and everything. I thought everything was going good, and he was saying something about he wanted to have an open relationship, and I was just like, I don't really want to do that because I'm the jealous type. Like, I do not. If I'm dating someone, I'm like, I do not want another man talking to him.
Exactly.
I do not want to share my man. That's just how the type of person.
I know. Before my husband and I got married, we went to this place. It's in Dallas. It's in Oak Cliff. It was called Barbara's Pavilion or something like that. It's in Oak Cliff. It was a gay lesbian bar. It's not there anymore. But anyway, and it was like in like 2000 or something. 2000. What year is it? 2007 or 8. But anyway, we were there and with friends, whatever. My husband and I walk in there with friends. We're standing there drinking our drinks, and this guy comes up to my husband. He's like, "Hi, you're cute," and blah blah blah. I'm like, and I go, "Bitch!" I said, "He's with me," and I said really loudly. I got like all like fucking possessive. I didn't even know I was like that. Okay, and
I'm the same way. And
I did.
He probably still didn't care.
The guy didn't know. I had to literally push him off of him. I was like, fuck you, asshole. So, and for me, I would never do that because I respect other people's relationships. But this guy was a fucking asshole. But yeah, so I'm the same way. I'm a jealous asshole too. So whatever. It's okay.
I just think it's interesting that in that statistic it said out of X and XYZ gay long-term relationships, there is non-monogamous relationships, and out of the three of us, we all
monogamy is our thing.
So I don't know. I can honestly say 100% to the Bible, I've never cheated on a guy.
Good.
So.
Yeah, and that's good. I think that it's rare.
I wish I could say the same,
but it's good. You wish you could say the same.
Yeah. Well, let me clarify. It's not like I was dating someone.
But you don't have to. You don't have to. The truth is, look, it's not any. I don't think it's something that you have to clarify,
justify.
Well, no. The only thing about my situation is that it was towards the end where pretty much it was like falling apart anyway.
Yeah.
But we hadn't made official, so I was like, well, fuck it, I might just go ahead and do my thing.
Well, that's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna say next. Is look, if you were in a relation, I was gonna ask you, when is it okay to cheat? Because if you're in a relationship for a long time and let's say the sex is gone, you don't have sex anymore, but you're best friends or whatever. I don't know, whatever happens. And you have sex all the time. I mean, you never have sex anymore, but you're friends and you have a relationship, you have finances together, whatever, but you never have sex anymore. Is it okay to cheat at that point if the guy is okay with it? It's not really cheating, I guess, then. But.
Yeah, because you trust me, you'll know when you have a feeling that he's brushing you off or he doesn't want anything to do with you. Because that's how my situation was. It was like,
same.
Every time I would call, he was always busy. No matter what fucking time it was.
That's right.
Like, I'm busy. 3:00 in the morning, I'll call you up. I'm busy. I'm like, what? Are you busy fuck it. Because I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, I'm like, okay, whatever. And then text, the text wouldn't, I would text him, never text back. He wouldn't stop by my house anymore. So, I mean, after a few days, I mean, it doesn't take me long where I'm just like, okay, we either need to talk and have a conversation, or I've come to the conclusion that you're just not into me anymore, which is fine. But if you are, just tell me so I can move on. So I won't like a complete dumbass sitting by the phone.
And that's the thing. Right. That's the thing that I always tell people, being as wise and knowledgeable as I am, the great Oz I am, whatever. But I always tell people that if you have to chase a guy, he's not into you. Because if a guy wants to be with you, he will be with you.
Yeah, I always try to remind my friends, like, you are the first place prize. You were the gold piece. Like,
right. Exactly.
Who are you to chase anybody?
But you will be surprised on how many people would chase after another person just to say they have someone.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's like pathetic to see it all.
That's insecurity and self-esteem issues. And I'm not saying that all of us hadn't gone through those types of things. I mean, when I was not your age, but when I was like my early 20s or whatever, I guess like Christian's age. I don't know how old you are exactly, Christian, but when I was my early 20s, I was a fucking mess. Okay, I was like chasing guys, and I was like, call me, please, bullshit. I was a fucking embarrassment to society. Okay,
but I was the same way though.
But I got over that.
I think in your early 20s, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like when you're in your early 20s, it's almost like it's kind of
it's a rite of passage
to be expected.
Yeah,
because you're trying to find yourself. You're trying to find yourself in life. You're trying to find out who you really are, and that type of thing. Not saying that I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, I know what you're saying. It is true that a lot of 20-year-olds are like that, but I think I was just pathetic. I mean, I just really was pathetic.
Was your preferred communication phone call or pager?
I was actually on the very tail end of the whole pager thing, so I'm not as old as that. I'm 40. I just turned 40, by the way, a month ago. So I just left the youth category and went to the old man category.
Oh, I got it. So now you're using Nexium, is what you're saying.
Not quite yet, no. And I don't need Viagra, by the way. Okay. Anyway, so let's talk about so the thing about the whole gay marriage thing is that we have the rights there, whatever, but what about do you remember the whole story about the bakery that wouldn't bake the cake?
Oh yeah, and wouldn't let people in.
Yeah, okay. And so I had a whole conversation with some libertarian Republican right-wing person the other day about this, and I this is what I feel, and you can tell me what you think. I personally feel like I don't think it's right to make someone make a cake for someone they don't agree with. And the reason I say that is because I wouldn't want to make a cake for some Nazi coming into my store or whatever either. And so I think on one hand, it's okay to say you have the right to refuse service. But on the other hand, it's a slippery slope, because it's the same as not allowing blacks or whomever else to patronize your establishment. So where do you draw the line?
Listen, I'm not saying I'm going to make a cake for anybody. But what I'm saying is all money works the same to me. So I don't know about you guys. And
make the fucking cake, go away.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Exactly. And I think the same way. I'm like, hey,
everything for money. I'm just saying.
No, I got
exactly.
You.
But I'm like, if you're gonna make a profit off of it, I'm like, what's the matter, boo boo? Like,
just give them a little bit of an increase. Just give them a little bit of an increased price. You'll be right.
I'm gonna have to bake away my morals, so it's gonna cost you another $50.
Exactly.
But I'll make your cake.
No, I totally understand what you're saying, and exactly like you're saying, everybody has the right to refuse service. But that is one of those things that's literally so fucking stupid that you are just wasting people's time, money, and your own energy.
It is stupid, but true. The other thing about it is that the thing that you have to remember about that particular case is that it's in Oregon, and Oregon has a clause in their law that says that you cannot refuse service to anyone based on race, religion, or sexual orientation.
Oh, wow.
So in that particular case, I think that they're justified. The law is justified in saying you have to bake the cake or you're fined. However, they're being fined like $150,000. Is that right?
Oh.
For a fucking cake?
So.
I'm like, is it really worth to go through all of that? Just bake the damn cake?
I mean, it's crazy the kind of money the government's going to make off this gay marriage thing.
Oh, are you crazy? I mean, God, I know. It's fucking, yeah. Well, anyway, I don't know. I just thought it was a horrible thing.
But that's really similar to the other article that came out this week where they were talking about the store owner who refused to, like, they wrote a sign that said, like, no fags allowed.
No gays
or whatever.
allowed, yes.
No gays allowed. And then whenever, was it U-Haul dropped them dropped the mic on him and basically said, like, you know, got to take our logo off. We're not messing with you anymore. And they changed their sign.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing I have to always remind people. Look, I believe that you have the right to say whatever the fuck you want. You have the right to free speech, but you have to be willing to suffer the consequences of your actions.
Absolutely.
So if you want to say, I hate fags, I hate black people, I hate Jews, I hate whatever, Mexicans, like what's his fucking said, what's his fucking name? Trump said, you know.
Donald motherfucking
Yes,
Trump.
these fucking idiots. They can say whatever the fuck they want. More power to you. You're an American. Say what you want. But what happened to Trump? He lost his fucking shows. What happened to these people? The U-Haul thing. I mean, that's what happened. So,
because unfortunately, we live in a world that revolves around corporations, and corporations make money.
So true.
And they make money off of minorities and different types of people. And we live in a swirly world. And
I'm swirly, by the way. I'm half black and half
swirly
white.
too. So
half black, half white, right here. So
I am 100%
eventually we're
black
gonna
on
get
this
to a
end.
time in life where everybody's fucking swirly. So.
well, that's what they say. Actually, did you see? Like, there was an article. I don't know. It was like a year ago. I read that said like 2085. Everyone's gonna look like beige, like me. You know, you know what I mean? They're gonna be like everybody's gonna be mixed up. It's not gonna be like not literally everybody, but the majority of the population.
Right.
So yeah.
We're gonna need more other boxes.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. I mean, does it even fucking matter? I mean, why does any of this shit matter? Because the truth is we're all fucking human. So
right. And I feel like this is really the last time in history that we're having infants, toddlers, babies that start life with technology on iPads, and then our oldest generation literally didn't have that until they were elders.
Right.
This is going to be the last time ever in history that we have such a difference in age gap and in culture. So it'll be really interesting to see, just speaking on that, how we continue to evolve.
I agree. And I think that, but you know, I don't think unfortunately that racism is going to ever go away. I think that it's
no, this is America.
Right. And I think it's more of like a cultural thing. Like, I think it's not necessarily like, I know this sounds bad, but not necessarily like I hate you because you're black, but it's more so like I hate you because you're hood rat culture.
I did this entire article.
Yeah,
I did this entire article called The Truth About Race. I wrote it for a magazine about 2 years ago, and you can go there to magazine.com, by the way. But anyway, it's there, and it's a really good article. You should read it sometime because it talks about exactly what you just said. And the fact is that I said in there that a lot of times people are not really upset about someone's race. They're upset about the culture that they come from.
Right.
And or they don't understand the culture that they come from, and therefore if they fear it.
Right.
So I completely agree with that statement. You're absolutely right. Now, I wanted you to talk about quickly pop culture and stuff like that because I know that both of you are big on those things, and I am too. So why don't you talk about Marc Jacobs real quick, Jason?
Yes,
you wanted to
God.
say something about it.
I've been so waiting for this topic. Okay. So,
which I was happy with, by the way. I like that picture. But
okay, so I was on.
Oh.
What was that?
Nothing going. I'm just laughing at him.
No, so I was on Facebook last week. I think it was last week, and I was on a particular blogger's website, and he was talking about it, and it was just like, oh, Marc Jacobs, you know, took this photo, you know, and put it up on Instagram and yada yada yada. So me being the perverted person that I am, I clicked on it. So I was just like, okay, well, let me see what this picture is. And I looked at it, and it was pretty much like
an aspect at first.
It was like a side ass shot.
Yes, until
and it was like a tip of his dick.
It sure was. It sure was.
And I was just like, I was just like, God damn, I wish I could see like the full frontal.
I know.
And I was just like, and you know, it was just like, and then he released this thing saying that it was an accident. He meant to send it like as a private message to like an Instagram
somebody he was hooking
follower
up to,
and that type of thing. But hey, I wasn't mad at him, and I enjoyed.
He doesn't send me those kind of direct messages.
Exactly. And you know what? Prior to him, this story even coming out, I really didn't follow Marc Jacobs on Twitter. But when that came out, I did just to see if he would do any shit in the future. So Yes, because I am kind of I am the perverted one.
No, so, I think he's hot. I've always thought he was hot, but you may not think he's hot, but I think he's hot.